Somewhere you've got the list. The 30, 50 tunes you are supposed to know. It keeps growing, and be honest, not one of them feels truly owned. That list and why it never turns into music is exactly what today takes apart. So here's my promise. By the end of this video, you will know where a tune actually opens, and it is the one place almost everybody skips. Tonight, I will open one blues from that door, start to finish. The sound, the form, and the solo, all pulled out of a single melody, and at the end, I will play you the solo comes out the other side. Listen first. 1 tune. Everything you are about to learn today came out of that, not out of knowing 30 other tunes. So that list is not just yours. Open any jazz guitar forum. The same confession shows up every single week. I have learned dozens of tunes, ask me to play one start to finish from memory, and I freeze. 20-year players, 30-year players. Here is the belief that built that list. To know tunes, you learn more tunes, a volume, 1,000 standards, all 12 keys. That is the jazz school paradigm. That is the belief. Everyone eventually tells you to go deeper instead of wider. But nobody tells you where deeper starts. It is not the changes, it is not other chorus of scales over the form. A tune opens from its melody, the melody. The one place where the composer put everything, the sound, the material, the shape. You have been treating the melody as the thing you get through before the real work starts. You were not behind on repertoire. You were walking past the front door of every tune you own. And every year the list gets longer while the number of tunes you could stand up and play tonight stays exactly where it was. That is not a repertoire. That is a museum you cannot get into. I will tell you something I do not say that often. There was a stretch of years when life happened and my repertoire didn't grow, and that anxiety, I should know more songs, followed me everywhere. And I'd come a long way for this music, from South Korea, no jazz scene, all the way to Berklee and my mentor, Richie Hart. By the way, I'm Junewon Choi, a total outsider then. So, two things saved me. The example of Jim Hall, one of the deepest players this music has ever produced, famous for the opposite of the list, the same tunes for decades, deeper every year. Depth wasn't his compromise, it was his engine. And one lesson with which that I am about to tell you about, the lesson where I finally saw where depth starts. That is how this music actually gets passed down, not tunes, doors. So you can stop collecting tunes and start opening them. So here's today. One blues opened from its front door, what the melody says about the tune's sound, what it hands you solo. The material was in there the whole time. And then the question every theory class would ask, where this tune's answer is going to surprise you. At the end, I will play you the solo that comes straight out of the melody, and along the way, I will point you to the video where I caught Wes doing the same thing in plain sight. First, that lesson. One afternoon at Berklee, Rich did not hand me a chart. He pulled out records, the blues records, the organ trio world. Kenny Burrell with Jimmy Smith. The Ellington is Forever sessions. And then another Duke Ellington tune. He plays his own tune. And he kept pointing at the same thing, record after record. Not one of these players plays the melody straight. They play the melody as blues, bent, delayed, a song. Each one differently, each one unmistakably the song. Even Duke. The man wrote the melody and he still treats it as a living thing. And Richie's point, I will paraphrase how he put it, was this. The blues is not something you add on top of a tune. It is sitting right in the middle of the harmony, in the middle of the melody with the color tones around it. The melody is not what you play before the music starts. The melody is the music. That is the lens for today. So now, Sandu. So again, let's see the Sandu. So this, the beginning phrase is, this is just a blues phrase, right? Right? But let's see. If I play like, this is not blues, but this, that is a blues. Let me play a little into the melody and let's pick out when the tune goes to the 4 chord, okay? That is when the 4 chords happen. What he did is in key of E flat, right? The 1 chord, he clearly plays it like, and on the 4 chord, right? Not, so this is 1 chord over here, right? Again, this is not a sound blues. That is not blues. And again, again, and then we're going to the 4 chord. Again, we are in the 4 chord. Now we go to the 1. You see? So, the 1 chord and the 4 chord, that distinction is in almost every blues. The 1 chord sound and the 4 chord sound. And let's see what is happening after the 4 chords get into the one chord. So after the four chord, we going back to the one chord over here, right? And then again this is some people might say, yeah, these 5 notes are pentatonic notes. But before we say this is pentatonic, let me finish the melody at the end, the double stop, and then coming back what it really is. Okay? So, yes, pentatonic sound, or yeah, I will say it later. So that phrase is happening every one sound, or right, this is happening like in between the phrases, and at the end that double stop. In original tune, this is flipped. So there's 2 separate lines playing by horn players, which one line is, and the other line is. So in the original melody, this bottom line is the real melody, and the top line on the guitar, that is the bottom note. Okay, but this is flipped so that we can play it at the playable range in the guitar. So let's see what individual line says. Okay, so the original one, now we had extra these A natural notes in that pentatonic. We assume that pentatonic, right? Right? But now we have the blue notes, right? But in this structure, on the one chord we had, right, we had this major third. So what it really is, the major blues scale. On the 4 chord though, on the 4 chord, we make it into the minor blues scale. Right? That was on the 4 chord. One chord, right? So that is the original melody part, and let's see the harmony part. What is this? That is C minor blues. So E flat major blues scale, or C minor blues scale. either one can play in the blues. This is the voicing for the one chord, and on top of it I have C minor from the E flat. This becomes E flat 6 voicing. That is why we can easily see this C minor blues sound is played for the one chord sound. And what is interesting thing is, in this minor blues, if we stay on the emphasize the blue notes, that is exactly for the 4 chord sound. So, in this melody, we have everything. So the foundation under everything today, the share voicing, voice leading, the whole map is my free essential building blocks. 2 hours of lessons, 28 pages PDF at voicelidjazzguitar.com. I will put the link below. It is all free. Now the question the theory class would ask. So I learned the Sandu. The way I play the melody is actually the Jesse van Ruller, the Dutch jazz guitarist, his version. And I studied his solo as well. And he did not really play the dominant function on measure 4, measure 8, and measure 12. Except, yeah, sometimes when he plays the chord solo. And I was wondered, but still it sounds so good, and his feeling and everything. And I found out once I don't understand like that, and I go back to the melody where I can find almost every answer. So I went back to melody and I just found out what I found out, and I just told you. The blues scale, who might think it as a pentatonic sound? And yes, Jesse plays around that line. Not really a dominant function sound in between chords, changing between 1 chord and 4 chord, or even the secondary dominant going to the 2 chord when on the 8th measure going to the 9th measure. Yes, he is just following the logic of the melody. He stays in that blues sound because melody already says everything. Melody has the answer, and he is just truthfully play off of the melody structure. So analyze Joseph Van Muller's solo on Sandu, and you will find the same thing. He is not chasing the function. He is soloing from the structure of the melody. Go put the record on tonight. Go put the record on today and listen for it yourself. The more faithful a melody is to the form, the less you need to play the function. It is already inside the melody. The melody carries the whole form. Exactly what I caught was doing on the card right now. And this discovery is not a one-off. It is one of the spines of Bluesprint. my full blues course on exactly this, soloing from the structure of the melody. I will put the link below. So I played the solo from the same idea just before, and in the beginning of this video, one that I played, that is also the solo on over the Sandu that I played in this logic. But I will play for you one more time. It's not gonna be the same thing, but yeah, same idea. This week, one tune, Richie's assignment, the same one he gave me. Play the melody properly, then solo on it, from it, and nothing else. And report below what your melody hands you. Every tune answers differently. That is the point. So I promised you the door, and you have watched one tune open from it. The sound, the material, the form, all out of just one melody. Take one tune through that door this week and watch it stop being a page. You visit it and start being a tune you own. That is the day the list stops being a museum. How many tunes are on your list, and how many could you play tonight, start to finish? One last thing, Rich never handed me tunes, he handed me records and one instruction, start from the melody. Today I handed you the same door, so go open one. On the next video, we go one layer deeper into the same melody, the two notes inside it doing all the work, every chord, the whole time. You do not want to miss that one. So please subscribe. That is how every video finds you well. And if today opened something, hit like. If you are starting from zero, essential building blocks, one link below. Thank you for practicing with me. Until next time, keep swinging.